going through things is the only way we can get to the things we really want. Because without going through things, whether that's heading on directly with obstacles or whether that's handling adversity or experiencing pain or discomfort, it's through that we understand how to experience joy, pleasure, love, and it's through that we have true appreciation for the better feelings. And so it's you can't experience true bliss without the full spectrum of feelings being experienced. You have to have the grief. You have to have it sounds crazy, but it's like you have no way to measure it if you only have one side of the spectrum. If all you know is pain or if all you know is pleasure, you can't experience a true pleasure because you have nothing to measure it against. It's like imagine if everyone was the same level of attraction. You wouldn't know what beauty is considered or what's ugly considered. Everyone would just be considered the same. What makes people beautiful is there's so many different varieties of people that you can compare and contrast and say, wow, this person looks very distinct, very different. And that's what makes them beautiful. And it's that on a physical level, obviously, you could be beautiful in more ways than just physically, but as far as physical attraction, it's the same thing if it was mental attraction. There's this woman on YouTube who I think she's physically attractive, but that's not even why I follow her. Her name is like Dami Lee, Damilee. Check out her page. She's pretty popular, it seems like. She has like over 1 million subscribers. And I follow her because I saw some video that she was doing about architecture that she was designing, or maybe it was just like something she was hypothesizing about designing. I mean, I know she's designed real places, but it also seems like she does a lot of like thought piece videos on what would the world be like if things were designed in this way or if we decided to make architecture in this way. And I love it because I'm fascinated with architecture. It wasn't a skill that I chose to pursue, but I have an admiration for it because it speaks to history and it speaks to the mindset behind times, certain eras and times, and the culture of certain ways of life. And the way we design things speaks to how we choose to live. And so I find architecture to be a beautiful thing to observe, um, a really cool art form. Um, it's awesome because it also stands the test of time for a period of time, and then obviously it corrodes and it doesn't always it's not like it lasts forever, but it's a continuously evolving thing because there's ancient architecture that still stands and there's old architecture that crumbles and then new architecture that pops up, and I just love it. I think it's really cool. And so she is architect, pardon me. And I thought that was so cool. I'm like, yo, I didn't even know that they had people like this making YouTube pages. And so I said, yo, I need some new interest. I need something that switches up my YouTube algorithm and gets me into some new content, some new train of thought. And so I started checking out her page, and she does a lot of cool videos on architecture. And so I just found beauty in that. And so there's beauty in a lot of forms. But the point of this video is really talking about learning to appreciate things. And it's like, I mean, even to that example, I wouldn't have learned to appreciate architecture if it wasn't for the pain of going through some of these classes where I was studying it and I wasn't interested in it in the past. I wasn't always interested in this from day one. I mean, it felt like it, but it really wasn't the case. What it really was I was forced to learn it in a setting where I wasn't interested. And then I started paying attention to it in real world, in real life, and I was like, oh shoot, this actually is interesting. And I can actually see some of these things in real life. And I can actually have appreciation for it. So just learning to enjoy the full spectrum of experiences, because it's hard to love and enjoy pain, but without it, how can you really have pleasure? Without it, how can you really live? How can you really be alive? Most people are just breathing.